Chosen one. This message got to you just now when there are no not by chance. This is the best example of divine planning. You were brought here because you have a special quality that is just waiting to be brought out. All the things you've been thinking about, how divine help will come to change your life. The pressure you've been under is real. It's not just stress. Spiritual proof from a strong person or someone with a lot of influence. One or more of your psychic guardians has noticed. They can feel the possible you. Right now, they're getting ready to open a door that will take you from a move from the place that's been draining your energy to a new one where you can finally breathe freely, the old ones. Your ancestors, also known as angels or celestial friends, have been showing you the way, planning something huge behind the scenes, and you're not dreaming it. There have been signs everywhere, and you're almost there. Your gifts will appear exactly where they need to be. Not only seen, but also honored, grew, and boosted. Before we go on, take a moment to focus yourself and breathe deeply if you haven't already. Don't just read this. Share and subscribe to it. Divine message made just for the chosen few. For those whose hearts are you ready to wake up and rise if this word hits you deep down? If it makes you feel like you're tired of living in the dark and if you're ready to follow your holy purpose, leave the number 77 in the comments. There's no chance behind the number. It's a heavenly sign, a holy code that says to I'm ready and in sync with the world. You have been chosen. This word is not for the weak. It's for people who have been through the tests and trials and are now ready to accept divine synergy. If you make it to the end, you'll find a secret clue. Wisdom will help you see spiritual things more clearly and bring the rewards. That lies used to keep you from seeing. Let this be your spiritual. Watch it as many times as you want. Every time you come back, you'll hear what you missed before. Because the truth comes out in stages. And each layer you rise above the lies, becoming more in tune with your purpose and taking bold steps into the future that has already been planned. Already written for you by God. Now it's your turn. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Your spirit knew something was different before the offer even came up. You could feel the shaking in your soul before the chance even arrived. You may have looked around and asked yourself, why does everything here feel off of places they knew started to feel small talk that used to flow now felt sucked in, and the things you used to find comfortable started to wear thin. Shoes that were too small, and you asked yourself, am I just tired? Are you bored? It wasn't that you were feeling restless. Your heart was. Your guides had been dropping hints through passing that an upcoming change was coming. Talks happen by chance and send unexpected messages about places, people. Strange thoughts that seem to fit with the life you really want in a city. A new creative group keeps calling from places you've never been. You start to feel like a job change is inevitable. These events weren't just random. Even though they were holy nudges, doubt tried to drown out the warning voices in your mind told you, don't be ungrateful, stay safe. You don't just have these kinds of dreams happen, but deep down, you knew those rumors weren't true. Fear-based lies that are trying to stop your breakthrough and then seem to be out of the blue. Something happened, and a high-level person entered your life. Through a friend, an email, or a seemingly random event that wasn't at all random. This person, with a lot of reach, power, and vision, sees you not just on the surface, they see your essence and promise. At first, it may have seemed the energy you didn't feel was too good to be true, but your soul knew it. Manipulative. It didn't feel rushed or forced. It felt just right. Like the door you've been trying to get through for a long time finally opened. And with that, the anger at being stuck turned into excitement. The walls that used to make you feel stuck begin to fall down. Instead of doubting your dreams, you started getting ready for what was going to happen. To take a leap into uncharted area, like a new city, circle, or challenge. But it's not blind faith. It's divine movement that your ancestors forgot to keep alive. Your goal was to stay hidden forever, but your time in the dark is over. Now is the time to rise. This isn't just a move, it's a holy place. Placing your gift in a place where it will grow, not shrink. And while, even if fear tries to sneak in, it can't stop what you are already doing. Being in an environment that makes you great, not one that takes away from it. When the offer comes in, don't wait. Don't think twice. Just answer the phone. Your soul was searching for its true home, which is now life. In chapter 2 of that picture, you lived through the season of being. For a long time, it felt like no one really saw you, but you were sure they did. Moments when brilliant people you helped showed up with strong answers, healed broken gaps. But the praise either didn't last long or never came at all. And that lack of praise made you doubt everything. You wondered when you thought about whether your skills were real or just in your head, you said, "Maybe I'm not as gifted as I thought." But the truth is that you are being kept secret on purpose. Guardians, your higher counsel, kept you safe, not as a punishment, but as a way to get ready. You could grow in peace and quiet, away from the noise, because they let you. Because being around applause for a long time might have made you dependent on it, or, as bad as it was, it might have led to envy, trickery, or burnout before you were ready. While others wanted to be the center of attention, you were shown how to become one. A strong force, you practiced discipline alone. You stayed away from crowds steady, even when no one clapped. That quiet training ground made you stronger. It taught you to move with depth instead of ego. And now that you've proven it, yourself loyal in the dark, the divine is bringing you into the light. You aren't picked at chance. The timing is holy. The ally who's coming has the keys to a realm that reflects who you are. They're not coming to save you. They're coming because mission needs you to show them what your old space wasn't big enough to recognize your genius. And this time, you won't be shy or say sorry for it. You're not vulnerable to because you already know how to do well without praise. The false hopes of approval from others that this new setting doesn't offer, I need you to be louder and more honest. The people who are watching are now lined up. Energy isn't jealous, it's wide, and they're not telling you to fit in. Now that they've told you to stand up, the shock may be real after all. It can be strange to be called to the front from the background all of a sudden, but don't worry. Don't let your doubt stop you. Your guardian angels, ancestors, and friends held the door open until through it, you were strong enough to not lose yourself. You're ready. Now, you're entering a future that was waiting for you to grow up, not grow up. Fame, the years of not being seen, were never wasted. They were holy. The foundation has been laid, the call is real, and the shift has begun. Take a brave step into the next part of your life. You were always meant to rise. Grew tired of rivalries and gatekeepers. One of the clearest signs you were meant for more was the place where you were stuck was full of small fights and people who were trying to control the flow of chance. You were surrounded by people who could feel your light from afar, but they didn't support it. Because of it, some blocked your access to important meetings, while others didn't let you attend resources you clearly needed to grow, and some even went further to spread lies. Putting doubts on your reputation or working behind the scenes to hurt your rise. It was all meant to confuse you with false ideas you might have believed, that you'd finally get what you want if you could just get along with them, show how loyal you are, or prove how valuable you are. Big step forward, but that was never the way to go. That was the trap. Your friends in heaven quietly watched. They saw you. Instead of making you jump through hoops that weren't even meant to lead to happiness, they let you feel the defend yourself so you can learn to discern between those who really care about you and those who don't. Wants to help you get ahead and those who only want to keep you down over time. You realized you didn't need to look to these self-appointed judges for approval anymore. You didn't owe them anything. Your road, your power, your job, none of it was tied to them. With their permission, you were on a holy mission that their narrow-mindedness couldn't stop. Though you were in charge, those beliefs held on tight and made you doubt yourself. You may have asked yourself, am I not ready yet? Should I keep doing what I need to do? But life kept giving you moments of friction, rejection, failures, shame, until finally you realized you were done with their game. When you started looking for their approval, things started to change. Your guardian angels saw that you passed a big test, not by getting them to agree with you, but not having them at all. That choice. Suddenly, you weren't waiting for anyone to nod. You were tuning in to your inner direction and listen to the whispers of the divine instead of the noise of your competitors. And in that silence, something new started to happen. Divine irony. Once you stopped bowing down to the fake shrines, once you showed that when you'd rather be yourself than try to get support, that's when your celestial friends moved, a real connection came your way. Someone strong and able to open doors that the old guards could only wish there were no more detours and they wouldn't have to play for the wrong crowd. The celestial friends put you right in the hands of someone who truly sees how smart you are and wants to invest in you instead of controlling you. That's how lies fall apart. Not by making people who are afraid of you happy, but by joining forces with people who see it and make room for it too. From now on, you'll survive. There will still be rivalries, but they won't bother you. Be working in a higher realm with a frequency that is too high for their small control to reach their celestial friends. Never meant for you to stay small. Those bad times were never about them, about you getting constant self-rust. And now that you have it, now that the doors are open, the time of being undervalued is over. If you're perfectly placed, get ready for the wave that's coming. Just strong. It can't be stopped. Chapter 4. You got better at gifts to you alone while everyone else slept. You were wide awake, building up growing plan that you might not have had a stage, that you might not have had cheers, but you had something much more important to do in the darkness. Alone time. To work on your gift without anyone else around. Interruption. Some nights, you made your bedroom a safe place to be. Some days, you worked on your skills or studied in the corners where no one saw you. You were getting stronger, though, and becoming dangerous in your spirit. While other people were trying to get noticed by showing off, you were digging deep. For mastery, lies tried to convince you that progress could be made without a crowd. It didn't matter if you weren't getting credit for your work or did too little. Your guardian angels told you a different story. What you build in private lasts longer than what you work on without being interrupted. Become certain that you learned how to keep your gifts safe from people who would, because you didn't want people to abuse or misunderstand them. You limited who could view your thoughts and power, and even though you weren't seen much, each secret step you took while you were growing was seen by God. Every practice, every breakthrough, and every late night was a win. Night download from Spirit, it all added up and made your time away stand out. The noise made it easy for you to hear divine guidance. You weren't being slowed down, you were being protected. You didn't fall behind and made progress beyond what most people could have imagined because you had the chance to grow without any distractions, ego, or wrong beliefs. Applause. And now, the time has come for everything you've worked on. In the secret will come out. People are whispering your name in places you haven't been in. As you came in, your celestial friends put you right in front of someone who can take what you've been working on to the next level. Not because you're loud or because you chase them, not because you want recognition, but because your quiet mastery speaks for itself when the chance comes up. Whether it's a stage, a platform, or a move, you'll be ready, and the people who didn't believe in you before will be amazed at how advanced your gifts really are. This was always the plan. Your time of silence wasn't a punishment. It was a time to get ready for the celestial friends, ready to show what you worked on behind the scenes, and it will shine better. Because it was worked on in the dark, chapter 5, you were able to break free from the lie of wrong time is one of the biggest lies the chosen ones have to deal with. Believe that now isn't the right time. How many chances did you miss? Since you thought your life had to be better first, you told yourself you'd move on when things were more stable. When the money came in, the relationship got better, and the stress went away. People thought that things had to be just right before you could take the next step, stopped you from moving for longer than you'd like to admit. But that perfect moment never came, and it never would, because that's not your fate. Isn't tied to ease or comfort. It's tied to obeying. Your higher allies don't wait until things are perfect to move on. In fact, they often move before things are perfect. Getting out of your habit at the worst possible time, like when you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, not ready, because illusions live on delay. And the longer you wait, the worse they get. The longer you wait for everything to be just right, the longer the illusion can keep you from moving into your destiny. But destiny wins, is turned on by trust, and trust means stepping forward before everything is set up perfectly. Your friends in heaven gave you small windows to do something they weren't planning to do, like travel, a surprise request, or a push to jump. They didn't wait for your life to be perfect before giving the next step. Instead, they gave you chances at whenever you didn't feel ready, and every time you did, even when they gave you the strength or tools you needed even though it was inconvenient. Was the training, and it was a call to trust beyond reason in order to learn how to move when the Spirit tells you not to move, when things look good or easy. You stopped relying on outside reasons to help you make choices and began asking, "Is this from my friends in heaven?" rather than, "Is now a good time?" That frame of mind change freed you from the trap of being stuck. You could see that waiting for the right time was just another way to put things off out of fear. Your way was blocked by an illusion that told you to wait until later. Your guardian angels told you now, and as you followed their advice, you found the strength to act, to move forward, and take steps that were hard but necessary. And as the next divine shift draws near, you're no longer being held. Because of worries about time, you know that if the call comes to move, pivot, or leap, you will do so. It's already been approved by God, even if there are still problems. If things aren't wrapped up nicely, the call is the sign. Once you know it's in line with your higher purpose, your spiritual will, you can trust that the time is always right. Friendlies don't need you to be free on the weekends. They just need you to be willing to help. They need you to be ready to trust them and go into the unknown without the comfort of a perfect plan. And by doing that, you have learned the divine. You don't have to wait until everything is perfect to be on time. Being ready to act when asked and having faith that everything will work out as planned, move forward. That's why your ability has been pushed to the limit. So when the door opens quickly, and you'll be ready to walk through it without notice. That's how you break the illusion of time. Without a doubt, that's how you calm down when God interrupts you. You know that the moment you feel, when you're not ready, the divine often wants you to take the jump to trust the road you can't see. You now know that alignment doesn't always feel like it. It may not be handy, but the pain you feel when you step into the unknown is a part of your growth and a sign that you are going in the right direction. That if the offer comes, you should go, and if the chance comes up, you should say yes. You've been ready for this moment. You've learned the lessons that made it possible. Believe that God has a plan for you, even when it looks like the world doesn't. You are ready, and no fantasy can stop you when your guardian angels tell you it's time. You're no longer stuck in the lie of bad time, and you can now truly free to chapter 6. You chose the divine over the crowd. Step into your divine mission. At some point, the gods put something subtle but powerful in you to the test. This wasn't the kind of test that got a lot of attention or praise from other people. Daily choices and the hidden pressure of a co-worker who made fun of her, your religious views, in a jokey way. Someone in your family rolled their eyes when you said you were a chosen one, and friends or social media pushed you to share the news. To blend in, to get away from being different. These weren't random annoyances, these were small tests that your guardians from heaven sent to see. In the past, you might have thought about whether you would back down or step forward. You hid your truth, darkened your light for peace, and smiled when people disrespected your path. Beliefs to avoid making people feel bad about themselves. You weren't weak. You were trying to fit in, but you didn't know this. Every time you hid the truth to make other people feel better, your delusions got stronger. Stronger. The idea that being liked by other people was more important than God approval. The false belief that praise from people was more satisfying than mental alignment. But this time, a small but powerful change happened. You stopped pretending. You let people get the wrong idea about you. You let their judging you without giving you a chance to explain yourself. You didn't fight or prove your worth. All you had to do was listen to the words of your watchers, that invisible divine. When you picked truth over lies, the frequency inside you became your guide. The safety illusion was broken, and yes, some relationships suffered as a result. Faded. Some people called you cocky, disconnected, or too spiritual, but you weren't any of those things. You weren't trying to impress them anymore. You were looking to connect with the higher world. People who were watching paid attention when you tried to sneak in guilt when you felt bad, for after disappointing other people, you stopped asking their views for help. You looked inside yourself and up and asked, "What do my watchers say?" And in that, it became clear to you that you were no longer eligible for approval. And that came with a price on your soul. The people around you finally changed some things. Some stayed and grew, while others put up with your journey even though they didn't want to. I get it. But what's more important is that you stopped saying sorry, for you stopped shrinking to make other people feel better about who you are. Freedom from the false beliefs that used to keep you stuck in fear of being rejected. The you took a brave step into a place where the desire to fit in no longer held power. Your purpose? You shared your ideas with confidence, and the side eyes were hard at work. You knew what was really going on, so the rumors didn't worry you or slow you down. God was giving you a test that you were passing with flying colors when there are divine chances when you are asked to move or accept a calling that makes people around you confused. You don't think about it or ask, What are they going to think? Because you broke that chain, whose eyes are on you now today, more than ever. You've shown that you're true to their words. What other people think. You're not afraid of being misunderstood. You're no longer tied to false hopes of making other people happy. You've been put to the test. You were ready, and now you can't be stopped because you know that unity with the divine is much stronger than the crowd's cheers. You walk with a different strength now, a quiet fire, a cosmic force behind every step you've taken. You've become a light that can't be shaken. You are shining brightly and are fully in line with your heavenly purpose. Moving lets you play the next level. The moment you were waiting for has come. All of life's tests, nights spent alone, awkward conversations, and every fantasy you got rid of helped you get ready for this divine. When you move, you're no longer the person who needed to be liked or the person who felt safe in the familiar. Powerful, but this version can't be stopped. Your guardian angels, the Watchers, marked you as ready for the next level, ready for a bigger effect, ready for... This move isn't about creating an environment where your skills can grow. It's not about running away and leaving people behind or starting over. Because on a higher level, in a place where your gifts won't be shut down or wasted, the move may come up quickly as a call, an offer, or money. It might seem too good to be true, but your spirit will tell you it's real. Put together by your viewers who have been moving things around behind the scenes. Yes. In a sad moment, you may feel the pain of leaving behind things you know, but that pain is holy. It means you're moving on to something bigger than the old version of your life. You've grown out of the box. The door has finally been opened, and the Watchers are taking you to a place where people will be moved by your light, your knowledge will be respected, and your energy will be felt, will be just what you need. You might meet a guide or people who share your values. You might even find a new group, but it's important not to move because it's comfortable. When you move, it's because God wants you to. And right now, problems may come up, but they won't scare you because you've already passed the hardest test by not betraying yourself to fit in that power. We'll take you there. You don't need all the answers, just the right ones. So when the door opens, when the chance comes up, walk through it and say yes when the old. Some people say, what if it doesn't work? Your track shuts them up. Proof that you can survive, change, and do well in places where others can't. Even welcome. This new place is different. It was made just for you. Proven that you are ready, the illusions have been broken, and the way is now clear. Your uncontrollable wave is moving. This change isn't random. It's holy. Fate comes true, and you're more than ready.